Didi driver Ye Chen, time travel to obtain the selection system. Randomly activate special passenger selection tasks. Beautiful CEO, rewards Pagani limited edition sports car, charm value plus 1 trillion yuan group CEO. Second-tier female celebrity, Gulfstream G550 luxury private jet, acting skills plus 10. This book is famous for, Why Do Beautiful Women Like to Ride in My Car, Driving Didi to Become a Big Shot, and How to Spend Too Much Money, keywords of the novel. Choose the CEO of Billion Group without a pop-up window at the beginning. Choose the CEO of Billion Group at the beginning, download the complete TXT collection, and choose the latest chapter of the CEO of Billion Group at the beginning to read. Chapter 1. Didi Selection System, Seeking Tickets and Collecting. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1 Didi Selection System, Seeking Tickets and Collecting. Ye Chen, let's break up. The voice of my girlfriend Yao Lily came over the phone. Why did you break up? Ye Chen was taken aback for a moment and said, I pick you up and drop you off work every day, and I buy you luxury goods with all the money I earn from running around. Did I do anything wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. I don't want my boyfriend to be a Didi driver driving a Xiaoli car. I would rather cry in a BMW than laugh in a Xiaoli car. Goodbye. Hang up the phone. The latest update pops up on Yao Lily's social circle, with a BMW car in the background and a man's hand on Yao Lily's waist in the picture. Damn it, bullshit, would rather cry in a BMW than laugh in a Xiaoli car. It's clear that he's looking for a wealthy second generation to dump me. Ye Chen traveled to a parallel world 10 years ago. He was originally a white-collar worker with a monthly salary of over 10,000 yuan, but he didn't expect to be framed by his colleagues and lose his job due to good performance, so he had to leave his job. Having made a girlfriend and wanting to get along well, the wholehearted effort turned out to be a spare tire. When people travel, they are always surrounded by the system. They need to be as powerful as possible, but Ye Chen is only left with bitterness. On the roadside, a beautiful woman in a black suit with high heels waved at Ye Chen. The beauty has a beauty score of over 95 points, but her face carries a hint of cold and aloof pride. Ye Chen parked the car on the roadside, and the beautiful woman opened the car door and sat in the back seat. After stabilizing his emotions, Ye Chen smiled professionally at the beautiful woman and said, "Welcome to take the Didi special car." The beautiful woman was very cold, just nodded slightly. Ye Chen started the car and drove towards the destination. Accompanied by a pleasant bell, the beautiful woman's phone rang and answered. Mr. Chen, our agreement with Didi Group has already been agreed upon. How could we retract it? Mr. Su, we can sign the agreement, but tonight you need to come and have a good drink with me. If I have a good drink, I will naturally sign the contract. This. Su Wani frowned. Biting her teeth, Su Wani said, Okay, then I'll go to the hotel now. Su Wani, the goddess of the business world in the demon capital. Superb looks, highly discerning business acumen, and a sharp and decisive personality have attracted countless men's pursuit. However, behind the glamour and beauty lies heartache, as it is too difficult for a woman to work hard in the business world. Su Wani is very smart. She knows that Mr. Chen's request for her to drink may not be well-intentioned, but this agreement is too important for her and must be taken. Ding, Didi selection system starts, randomly encounters a special attribute passenger every week, completes the selection task, and will receive the ultimate reward, assisting the host to become a global leader. Passenger occupation. President. Option 1. Comfort the beautiful CEO, acquire the perfect flattery skill, flattery plus 10, and the beautiful CEO will reward 1 million yuan. Option 2. Pour cold water on the beautiful CEO, obtain the poison tongue skill, be cold plus 10, and have a Bodeli fitness card with a face value of 100,000. Option 3. Help the female CEO solve problems, obtain a limited edition luxury car, charm value plus 10, and become the inheritor of the billion-dollar group president, lying trough. Seeing the hint in his mind, Ye Chen froze. The legendary system was unexpectedly encountered by him. One of the 3 task options is best to complete, and the reward is also quite good. Option 2, Ye Chen ignored it directly and threw stones at the well, which is not his style. Option 3, although troublesome, offers generous rewards. At present, Ye Chen said in a deep voice in his heart, "System, I choose option 3. Ding, congratulations on the successful host selection and receiving a 10 million red envelope reward. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the Pagani limited edition sports car, the car is in the destination parking lot. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining a charm value of +10. Your attraction to women has doubled. Ding, congratulations to the host on becoming the president of Didi Group. Ding, the host will receive 5 positive stars from the system within a week to activate a new special passenger selection task." Su Wani put down her phone, looked up, and was stunned when she saw Ye Chen's profile. This Didi little brother is a bit handsome. When she first got on the car, Su Wani didn't notice Ye Chen. At this moment, sitting in the back seat, Su Wani stared at Ye Chen, her heart racing as she looked more and more. Suddenly, her eyes lit up. "Didi, can you do me a favor?" "What are you busy with?" Ye Chen asked. "Come to the banquet with me. If you get drunk, send me back to the SDE group. Of course, it won't be in vain. I can give you money." Su Wani understood that if she went to a cocktail party, it would be very dangerous if she got drunk. It's different to take Ye Chen with you. At least there's a man around, and the other person wouldn't dare to be too reckless. "No, I still have to run, Didi. 100,000, that's enough money for you to run for a year. Okay, close the deal." Ye Chen originally wanted to help Su Wani, but just refusing was just a play to win. If he was too proactive, it would actually make the other party suspect. Ye Chen parked his car in the parking lot of the Marriott Hotel. As soon as Su Wani got off the car, Ye Chen's phone rang. "Hello, is this Mr. Yi? I am Lin Li, the general manager of Didi Group. You have just obtained 40% equity of Didi Group and become the CEO of the company. Now, we need you to sign an equity transfer agreement." "Oh, I'm at the Marriott Hotel. You can come find me directly," Ye Chen said. "Okay, I'll go over now." Hanging up the phone, Ye Chen and Su Wani entered the hotel together. As soon as Su Wani entered the private room, a bald man in his 50s stood up. "Mr. Su, it's really not easy to ask you out." Chen Li frowned when he saw Ye Chen beside him. "Who is this?" Chen Li pointed to Ye Chen and said. "He is my driver, Ye Chen." "Oh, driver." Chen Li sneered and ignored Ye Chen directly. 3 people sat down, and food and drinks were laid out. Su Wani anxiously said, "Mr. Chen, do you see our agreement?" "The agreement is not urgent, let's drink first." Chen Li poured a full glass of wine for Su Wani. "Mr. Su, didn't I say that? You'll accompany me to a delicious drink, and I'll sign an agreement with you immediately." Su Wani frowned as she looked at the full glass of wine. After drinking a glass of wine, she will definitely get drunk today. "Mr. Su, I can sign this agreement with you or someone else. Whether or not I can sign it depends on your performance today." Chen Li greedily stared at Su Wani's sexy body and said. Su Wani understands that it is impossible to sign a contract if she doesn't drink this glass of wine today. She glanced at Ye Chen and realized that this man was the only one who got drunk. Su Wani took a deep breath and said, "Okay." Speaking, Su Wani was about to pick up her wine glass. "Sorry, Mr. Su cannot drink alcohol." Ye Chen snatched the wine glass in front of Su Wani and poured it onto the ground. Su Wani was stunned and looked at Ye Chen. She didn't expect him to pour the wine directly. Chen Li was also stunned, and then his face became fierce and angry. "A mere driver, who dares to pour his wine. New book seeking votes and collections, end of this chapter. Chapter 2. Being a low-key person, seeking votes and collecting. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chapter 2. Being a low-key person, seeking votes and collecting, how dare a stinky driver meddle? Do you know your identity? Chenli pointed at Ye Chen and cursed. Ye Chen sneered, what identity do you say I am? Chenli gave a wild smile and a mocking expression on his face. You're just a poor driver. Are you? Are you from Ye Group? That's right, I am the general manager of the project department of Ye Group. Coincidentally, I am also a member of Ye Group. Are you from Ye Group? Which department? I want to dismiss you immediately, Chenli said with a gloomy expression. Mr. Chen, don't dismiss him. Can't I drink? Ye Chen was able to step forward, and Su Wani was very moved. However, Su Wani couldn't bear Ye Chen because she lost her job. Chenli saw Su Wani soften and arrogantly pointed at Ye Chen. Kid, get out immediately. I can save Wani's face and not pursue you. Miss Su, don't worry, he can't fire me. Ye Chen looked indifferent. Su Wani thought that Ye Chen had stood up for her and said angrily, Ye Group is a Fortune 500 company. If you were fired because of me, I would feel guilty. Chenli thought he had settled on Ye Chen and said, you're also a low-level employee at Ye Group, right? You dare to save the beauty in front of me, do you deserve it? Get out of here, don't embarrass yourself. Chenli, who are you asking to leave? At that moment, the private door was pushed open and a woman wearing an OL uniform and golden glasses walked in. Mr. Lin. Why did you come? Chenli was stunned when he saw the beautiful woman in front of him. The beautiful woman glared at Chenli and walked straight to Ye Chen, bowing and saying, Mr. Yi. Chenli was stunned. Su Wani was also stunned. Ye Chen nodded. Lin Li, right. I haven't taken office yet, someone is already going to dismiss me, Ye Chen said calmly. Chenli was so shocked that his chin was almost falling at the moment. Mr. Yi. He suddenly remembered that today the company had just announced that the chairman had transferred 40% of the company's equity to a young man surnamed Yi. It can't be him, right? Lin Li glanced at Chenli and said, Mr. Yi, now that you are the CEO of the company, you can dismiss anyone from the Ye Group, including me. Chenli's body trembled upon hearing this, and his face instantly turned pale. Mr. Yi. Su Wani looked at Ye Chen incredulously. She never dreamed that Didi Xiaoge would be the arrogant CEO of Ye Group. Ye Chen jokingly looked at Chenli and said, just now you said you wanted me to leave and you wanted to fire me, right? Chenli knelt on the ground with a limp leg. President Yi, this is all a misunderstanding. I'm blind, please forgive me. Chenli almost cried. You are a grand CEO of Ye Group, what kind of driver are you pretending to be? Is it fun to pretend to be a pig and eat a tiger? Ye Chen shook his head and said, your fault is not that you offended me, but that you abused the company's power and threatened our partners. Staying in the company like you is a disaster. Mr. Yi, please forgive me, I dare not dare again. Ye Chen snorted coldly, get out of here, you've been fired. Chenli's face turned pale and he plopped down on the ground. The general manager of Ye Group, with an annual salary of 1 million, worked for more than 10 years to reach this position. But due to a momentary lust, I lost my job. Su Wani was also stunned. She never expected that the Didi guy she met on the road would be the CEO of Ye Group. Su Wani added a low-key god to the label of a handsome guy. The legendary ultimate male god. In Su Wani's heart, men are nothing more than local chickens, tiles, and dogs, but today she felt the feeling of being tempted for the first time. Ye Chen looked at Chenli with a smile on his face and said, I'll give you a farewell message. You should be as low-key as me, understand? Chen. Low key. Lower the hammer. The CEO of a listed group went to work as a driver. Why don't you go to heaven? You can directly contact Mr. Lin about signing the contract, and I'll take you back to the company. Ye Chen smiled as he looked at Su Wani. Okay. Su Wani nodded shyly. After signing the agreement, Ye Chen and Su Wani arrived at the parking lot. Su Wani walked towards Ye Chen's Pasiali. Ye Chen pressed the key in his hand and said, "Take my car." Didi next to the Xiaoli car, a Pagani sports car's headlights lit up. Then, the car door slowly opened like wings. Looking at the cool Pagani sports car, Su Wani was stunned. Pagani's limited edition Fengshen sports car, Su Wani read in a magazine, there is only one in the country, worth over 30 million yuan. However, thinking of Ye Chen's identity, Su Wani felt relieved in her heart. It's normal for the CEO of Yida Group to drive a sports car worth 30 million yuan. The only abnormal thing is that this guy is running away. Do billionaires nowadays know how to play like this? Ye Chen sat in the Pagani car, luxurious, cool, and comfortable all over. The fragrant car beauties are all alive. Ye Chen deliberately opened the Didi car owner software. "Mr. Su, could you please give us an order for the next round?" Su Wani chuckled and said, "Okay, it's an honor for President Yida to be my driver." Open the Didi software and Su Wani placed an order. Ye Chen stepped on the accelerator and Pagani let out a piercing roar. Feeling a strong push behind her, Su Wani unconsciously fastened her seat belt. The Pagani, which costs 30 million yuan, immediately became the most beautiful car on the road. Damn it, this is Pagani, it seems like there's only one in the country, 30 million yuan. Which wealthy family has come out to bomb the streets? The beautiful woman in the passenger cabin is so beautiful. Hey, fragrant car beauty, unfortunately it's not me driving. Amidst the envious gazes of everyone, Ye Chen escorted Su Wani to her destination. "Thank you for taking my car, beautiful woman. If you need anything, feel free to place an order with me anytime. Well, by the way, could you add a WeChat account?" Su Wani asked another boy for WeChat for the first time. "No problem." After adding WeChat to each other, Ye Chen drove away. Ding, congratulations to the host for receiving a 5-star rating. Activate the first rating star, January 5th, and reward 50 million renminbi, holy crap, 50 million renminbi. Ye Chen now has over 60 million yuan in savings, and with his identity as CEO of Yida, what would his girlfriend look like if she knew his worth? Ye Chen is looking forward to it. Didi, there are new orders again. Ye Chen clicked to accept the order and glanced at the destination, Jinxiu Garden, which is 1.2 kilometers away from Ye Chen. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Smash it, no need to be polite, asking for tickets and collecting. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. Smash it, no need to be polite, asking for tickets and collecting. Jinxiu Garden belongs to a high-end residential area in Modu, and usually his car can only park outside to wait for guests. At the security booth, the property security guard saw a cool sports car roaring towards them with a slight chill in their eyes. Driving such a luxurious sports car, the owner's identity is definitely extraordinary. Ye Chen's car had just stopped, and the security guard didn't even ask. He bowed straight and then pressed the button on the stop pole. Lift the parking rod. Money is amazing, you can go anywhere without any obstacles. Ye Chen parked his car downstairs and dialed the phone. "Hello, is this Miss Lin? I have already arrived downstairs. Didi, I have a heavy box. Can you come up and help me move it? I'm on the 20th floor and I'll give you a good review." "Okay, wait for me a moment, I'll go up right away." On the other end of the phone, Lin Shanshan was stunned. Isn't this guy's voice so beautiful? Ye Chen parked his car downstairs and took the elevator to the 20th floor. At the door, I saw a girl wearing a cartoon T-shirt standing in front of a large box. Seeing Ye Chen, little Loli's eyes lit up. I didn't expect that brother Didi not only has such a beautiful voice, but also so handsome. I love you. Lin Shanshan, who was visually stunning, was immediately attracted by the handsome, carefree, and extraordinary young man in front of her. Little brother drank pulsation and ate jelly today, but still couldn't help but be tempted by you. Lin Shanshan couldn't help but say. Ye Chen smiled and said, it's better to take action than to be tempted. Speaking, Ye Chen gave Lin Shanshan a hug directly. Alright, hugging you is to let you know that men can't just focus on appearance. Handsome men have a lot of scum, so don't easily confess, otherwise you will suffer when you encounter scum. Ye Chen said, bent down to pick up the box, and entered the elevator. Just now, Ye Chen's embrace made Lin Shanshan completely foolish. Is this the feeling of love? Seeing that the elevator was about to close, Lin Shanshan quickly ran in. It's okay, little brother. Even if you're a scumbag, I'll accept it. Ye Chen and Lin Shanshan had just walked to the entrance when a sudden brake sound caused a BMW 740 to stop in front of them. A short and chubby young man wearing an international brand got out of the car and saw Lin Shanshan's eyes lit up. He walked towards Lin Shanshan with a bouquet of roses in his hand and said affectionately, Shanshan, I only recognize one god in this world, your gaze. Lin Shanshan frowned and said, then I would rather have my eyes lifeless. Shanshan, be my girlfriend, the man said reluctantly. Chendong, I said it's impossible for us. Why? Chendong hesitated for a moment, looking unwilling. Lin Shanshan glanced at Ye Chen beside her and suddenly grabbed his arm. Because I already have a boyfriend, he is my boyfriend. Ye Chen is confused. When did I become your boyfriend? Chendong sneered when he saw Ye Chen wearing a tickling work uniform. Shanshan, you don't have to lie to me anymore. He keeps running around, how can he be your boyfriend? Chendong coldly glanced at Ye Chen. Although he looks very handsome, the work clothes on the Didi special car are incredibly eye-catching. Chendong, don't bother me anymore. I already have a boyfriend, that's right, this little brother Didi is my boyfriend, Lin Shanshan said happily. Chendong's face turned somewhat grim upon hearing this, and he said coldly, Shanshan, I will let him leave you. Chendong took out a stick from the car and said coldly, kid, give you 3 seconds. If you don't get out, I'll smash your car. Seeing Chendong about to play around, Lin Shanshan's face changed slightly and she said, Chendong, don't act recklessly. Who lie? Humph, a Didi driver dares to snatch women from me, Chendong. I think he's tired of living. Ye Chen jokingly smiled and said, are you sure you want to smash my car? What kind of good car can you drive just by running around? If I smash it, I won't compensate you for another one. Ye Chen nodded and said, okay, but remember, if you dare not smash my car, I will smash your car. Speaking, Ye Chen pressed the car key in his hand. In the parking space not far from the BMW, a cool Pagani function sports car slowly spread its wings. Pagani. Lin Shanshan's face also showed an incredulous expression. Isn't her name Xiaoli? How could it be Pagani? Chendong looked at the Pagani sports car in confusion. Pagani, what about over 30 million? How could he smash it? And, how could he provoke someone who drives a Pagani? Chendong held a stick in his hand and looked embarrassed. Ye Chen smiled faintly and said, smash it. You're welcome. Chendong was holding a stick in his hand, but he didn't have the courage to lift it up. Seeing that Chendong dared not take action, Ye Chen directly snatched the stick from his hand. Are you willing to smash it? I'm willing. Bang bang. Ye Chen swung a few sticks directly on the BMW car, then threw the stick onto the ground, and gracefully turned around and led Lin Shanshan's hand towards the Pagani sports car. Before getting on the car, Ye Chen joked to Chen Dong, next time I'll force myself to drive a more upscale car, otherwise it's too embarrassing. Chen Dong looked at the crumpled body of BMW and felt a pang of heartache. But he was also afraid of Ye Chen's identity and dared not speak out. Boom boom boom. Accompanied by the roar of Pagani, Ye Chen drove away in the Pagani sports car. Chen Dong looked blankly at Pagani's rear taillights. What's special, pretending to be forced? No matter how much you try, you can't do it. What are you, a wealthy second generation, running around? Watching his beloved woman get into someone else's car, Chen Dong angrily kicked the door of a BMW car. Bazi. The BMW car door instantly recessed. My BMW. Chen Dong cried out in pain as he looked at the deformed door that had been kicked out. Thank you. Lin Shanshan sat in the sports car, her heart pounding. Just now, Ye Chen's handsome performance has completely conquered this beautiful woman. Lin Shanshan was delivered to her destination, which happened to be the sales office of Haitang Bay. Are you working here? Ye Chen asked curiously. Yes. Remember to give a 5-star review. Lin Shanshan submitted an order and gave Ye Chen a 5-star rating. Ding, congratulations to the host for receiving a 5-star review. Activating the second review star, February 5th, will reward 100 million renminbi. Ye Chen parked his car on the roadside and said, I happen to want to buy a house. Can you show me around? Okay, but Lin Shanshan felt a bit embarrassed. In fact, due to poor performance, Lin Shanshan has already been fired. She came here to pack up her things and prepare to resign. Why, you're not worried that I can't afford a house, are you? Ye Chen smiled. Of course not. Then I'll finish my last business before leaving. Taking a deep breath, Lin Shanshan walked into the sales office with Ye Chen. Lin Shanshan and Ye Chen had just entered the sales hall when they heard a sharp and sour voice coming. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. The mockery of my ex-girlfriend, seeking votes and collecting. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. The mockery of my ex-girlfriend, seeking votes and collecting. Hey, isn't this Shanshan? Oh, I forgot you've been fired. Even the worst performing salesperson in the company deserves to be fired, sneered Yang Tao. Lin Shanshan heard some grievances but didn't speak. In fact, it's not that she has poor business skills, but that a few old employees in the company bully her as a newcomer and refuse to give her the opportunity to interact with customers. Every day she just runs around doing odd jobs, helping clients make copies. In fact, she does the most in the company, but the end-of-month evaluation is based on performance. She was eliminated last and became the first person to be eliminated. I resigned after completing my last transaction. Is this the customer you brought? Yang Tao looked at Ye Chen jokingly. When I saw Ye Chen's Didi work uniform, I couldn't help but burst out laughing. Lin Shanshan, are you joking about bringing a Didi driver to buy a house? Yang Tao sneered. Yeah. Can he afford a toilet? Shanshan, if you know you're saving face, you don't need to find a Didi driver to show off. The other salespeople looked down upon Ye Chen, who was wearing a driver's uniform. Ye Chen also roughly understood Lin Shanshan's situation at the sales office with a faint smile and said, Shanshan, can you introduce me to your most expensive property here? The most expensive property. Yang Tao and several other salespeople were stunned at Ye Chen's words. Yang Tao said coldly, you're just making a fuss. What's the most expensive property for? Can you afford it? I'll tell you, our property costs 50,000 yuan per square meter, and you can't even afford a toilet. What's the point of installing it? Lin Shanshan whispered, Brother Chen, forget it. She understood that Ye Chen was trying to vent her anger, but the villa here is really too expensive. The most expensive villa is nearly 200 million yuan, How could Lin Shanshan feel embarrassed to ask Ye Chen to throw a lot of money for her? After listening to Lin Shanshan's words, Yang Tao was even more certain that Ye Chen couldn't afford the villa here and sneered, "Yes, you just need to buy a pigeon nest in the suburbs. Don't make a fool of yourself here." Ye Chen frowned and said, "This villa in the middle of the lake is the most expensive villa here, right? I'll buy it." "What?" In an instant, the sales office fell silent. All the salespeople were shocked. That villa is worth 160 million yuan, making it the most expensive property in this development. What did the little brother just say? He wants to buy it. Yang Tao was stunned. The other salespeople were also surprised and their eyes widened. Lin Shanshan was also stunned and asked cautiously, "Chen, you want to buy a villa in the middle of the lake?" Ye Chen nodded and smiled, "Well, by the way, you're an employee here. Can you give me a discount?" "Ah. Alright, I'll just tell the manager," Lin Shanshan said in surprise. Lin Shanshan made a phone call and soon a manager in a suit ran in, sweating profusely. "Shanshan, did you really sell this 160 million yuan villa?" Yang Tao couldn't believe her ears at all. Just now, she even mocked Ye Chen for buying a pigeon nest in the suburbs, and he bought a 160 million yuan building directly. Manager Chen tentatively asked, "Mr. Jiang, the original price of this villa is 160 million yuan. Since you are a friend of Shanshan, we will give you a 20% discount on the internal price. How about 128 million yuan? No problem, just swipe your card," Ye Chen nodded. False, it must be false. Yang Tao prayed in her heart, because Lin Shanshan was the top performer, and she was the second. If Lin Shanshan really sold the villa, it would be her who would leave with her betting. Ye Chen took out a bank card and handed it to Lin Shanshan, saying, "Alright, just swipe the card to complete the procedures." Yang Tao followed Lin Shanshan to the card swiping machine. When Yang Tao saw that she had successfully swiped her card, she was completely foolish. This little brother is really a millionaire. "Mr. Yi, congratulations on becoming the owner of the Huxin Villa. I will help you with the property procedures now," Manager Chen said excitedly. Ye Chen nodded and said, "By the way, some of your employees have poor quality. What's wrong with Didi? Can't Didi afford a luxury house? I can't drive my Pagani around Didi. If it weren't for Shanshan's sake, I wouldn't have bought this villa." At this moment, several salespeople saw the Pagani sports car parked at the door. They were so confused that they exploded. The legendary wealthy second generation who experienced life in novels actually appeared vividly in front of them. It must be like this. This little brother must be a super rich second generation. Kaidi is about experiencing life. Ye Chen smiled and said, "By the way, can you take me to see the house?" Chen Shan nodded and glanced at Lin Shanshan, "Why are you still standing there foolishly? Why don't you accompany Mr. Yi to see the house?" Lin Shanshan nodded blankly and said to Ye Chen, "Mr. Yi, please come with me. I will take you to see the house now." As Ye Chen and Lin Shanshan left, the girl at the sales office had envy in her eyes. Shanshan is so happy that she even hooked up with such a wealthy second generation. Yeah, it must be because of Shanshan, this wealthy second generation bought the villa here. Why don't I have a boyfriend like this? Chen Shan coldly glanced at Yang Tao and said, "Yang Tao, you just humiliated our esteemed customer. Do you know that our big business almost made you yellow?" Manager Chen, I. Chen Shan waved his hand and said, "Alright, there's no need to say. You've been fired. You should pay your salary and leave immediately." Yang Tao's face turned pale and she plopped down on the ground. She was just mocking Lin Shanshan, but she didn't expect the person who was fired so quickly to become herself. Ye Chen drove along the community road and arrived at the Huxin Villa 5 minutes later. The car was parked next to the villa, and Ye Chen and Lin Shanshan got off the car. The villa is built on a small island, surrounded by lakes on all sides, with excellent scenery. Lin Shanshan said, "Mr. Yi, please take a look around first. As this is your first time staying, you need to provide your information to the property management." "Okay," Ye Chen nodded. Ye Chen arrived at the lakeside, where the distant lake surface shimmered with ripples, and a gentle breeze carried a fragrance of flowers. "I never expected that there would be such a beautiful villa in a place like the Magic City, where every inch of land is precious. Ye Chen, why are you here?" Suddenly, a woman's voice came from behind. Seeing the woman behind him, Ye Chen was stunned for a moment. "My ex-girlfriend Yao Lily." Seeing Ye Chen wearing a Didi work uniform, Yao Lily's face showed a playful expression. "Ye Chen, you actually chased us here. I told you it's impossible for us. I won't find a Didi driver as my boyfriend. Sorry, I'm not here to see you. I'm here to see the house," Ye Chen said calmly. Yao Lily chuckled and said, looking at the house, "You come here to look at it all by yourself. Do you know that houses here cost an extra square meter? Even if you drive for a lifetime, you can't afford to buy a house here." A new book of running water. Spending a white and rich treasure, investing in a poor, has been released. It's a more exciting story. We look forward to the arrival of old irons. QQ can find it by reading the title of the book, Waiting for You. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Our Bazi Juhe, seeking tickets for collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Our Bazi Juhe, seeking tickets for collection. If Ye Chen had had some feelings for Yao Lily before, but at this moment, looking at her materialistic expression, he really didn't feel anything. Yao Lily felt even more proud when she saw Ye Chen's expression, thinking that she had hit Ye Chen's weakness. Ye Chen, men need to have pursuits, otherwise how can they be worthy of being a man? She pointed to the nearby villa in the middle of the lake and proudly said, "See, this villa in the middle of the lake was given to me by my boyfriend. Only a man like this can be called a real man. Is this villa your boyfriend's?" Ye Chen was stunned for a moment. "Of course, it's not just the villa, this Pagani sports car is also mine," Yao Lily said proudly, pointing to the Pagani sports car parked next to the villa. "That's interesting." Ye Chen raised the corner of his mouth, took out the car key, and lightly pressed it. Pagani's car door opens. Yao Lily suddenly became confused. No way, how could he have the key to the Pagani sports car? Yao Lily originally wanted to pretend casually, but she never dreamed that Ye Chen would open the car door. "Isn't he a little brother? How could you afford to drive Pagani?" "No, can we say that Ye Chen is a wealthy second generation, and opening Didi is just to experience life?" "Yes, that's how it's always portrayed on TV." Ye Chen took out the property certificate from the car and checked it, saying, "Sorry, building H8, this house should be mine." "Your." Yao Lily instantly became Spartan. "The villa is also owned by Ye Chen, there's no need to ask. With a sports car and a luxurious mansion, Ye Chen must be a billionaire." At this moment, Lin Shanshan finished the procedures and walked over. "Mr. Yi, the check.in procedures for the house have been completed and the fingerprint lock has been set up. You can move in directly." Ye Chen nodded and said, "Thank you." With the help of Lin Shanshan, Ye Chen walked to the front door of the villa and set up a fingerprint lock, then the door opened. Yao Lily is completely foolish. How could it be? Just now, Yao Lily was standing in front of the villa, admiring how great it would be if this billionaire mansion were hers. "I didn't expect that she used to be so close to this mansion." In an instant, Yao Lily's gaze as she looked at Ye Chen became fiery, like a cat in heat. Yao Lily rushed to Ye Chen and grabbed his arm. "Xiao Chen, I have always been optimistic about you, so I pretended to break up with you and try to cheat your identity. You are indeed a billionaire." Ye Chen was somewhat speechless. "Did you take care of me back then?" Just now you were pointing your nose at me and cursing me for not making any progress, right? Ye Chen, is this your secretary? It's okay to resign her. In the future, I will work as your girlfriend's part-time secretary. Ye Chen. Taking a glance at Lin Shanshan, who had a beauty score of over 95, Ye Chen shook off Yao Lily's hand and said, I'm sorry, we're not suitable. No, we're suitable. I've calculated our Bazi, Juhe. Ye Chen. Yao Lily's intestines have turned blue with regret. How could she have thought that the spare tire in her eyes was actually a wealthy second generation who drove a Pagani and owned a mansion? Compared to Ye Chen, that BMW man is simply a scumbag. Thinking of being able to take a luxury car and live in this villa in the middle of the lake soon, Yao Lily was ecstatic. My fate is so good, I actually caught a golden turtle son. Law. Sorry, I have a girlfriend now, it's this girl. Ye Chen pointed to the little loli next to him. What? She. No, Ye Chen, I'm your girlfriend. Well, to be precise, it's my ex-girlfriend. You called me and told me we had already broken up, Ye Chen said coldly. No, I'm just joking with you. I love you, and I'll only love you in my life. Don't abandon me, Chen. Ye Chen suddenly smiled and said, they have 100 times stronger appearance and physique than you. Why did I choose you, a materialistic bitch? Lin Shanshan's pretty face turned red on the side. Ah. Oh my god, he just said, am I his girlfriend? I just met for half an hour and I have already been corrected. Happiness came too suddenly. Ye Chen, have you forgotten our oath of brotherhood? Yao Lily, from the moment you called, we had no relationship. Please step aside, I have to leave. Ye Chen was too lazy to answer the other person and turned to leave. With a thud, she knelt in front of Ye Chen. In order to marry into a wealthy family, Yao Lily also fought hard. Ye Chen, don't abandon me. You are the only one I love in my life. Yao Lily, what are you doing? Suddenly, a man's voice came from behind. The person who came was none other than Chen Shan, the manager of the sales department. Originally, Chen Shan was Yao Lily's boyfriend. He brought Yao Lily to play on Huxin Island when he suddenly received a notice that the Huxin villa had been sold, so he hurriedly went to handle the procedures. After finishing his work, he returned only to see his girlfriend holding the hand of a stranger and kneeling on the ground, talking about why he was willing to be his girlfriend. What's so special? Yao Lily just made a vow to him and turned herself green so quickly. Yao Lily, you slut, what do you mean, green me in front of me? Yao Lily was very depressed. She originally wanted to have a bitter drama to impress Ye Chen, but she didn't expect her real boyfriend to come. Looking up, I found that Ye Chen had long been gone. Chen Shan snorted coldly, no need to look. They left early. Yao Lily's face changed slightly and she quickly said to Chen Shan, Xiao Shan, listen to my explanation. Get out of here, you slut, green tea bitch. You don't want to marry into a wealthy family, you marry. But you don't want to pee and take care of your own morals. If you still want to marry into a wealthy family like this, just dream and let's cut ties from now on. Chen Shan swung his sleeve and turned around to leave. Ye Chen missed it and lost his boyfriend. Chicken flying eggs beating, Yao Lily wished she could slap herself hard. Why were you blind at first, and why did you miss out on such a handsome young master from a wealthy family? Yao Lily knelt on the ground and burst into tears. Ye Chen drove Lin Shanshan home because she had just sold a big order. Lin Shanshan was not only not fired, but also promoted to the position of deputy general manager of the company, with an additional week off. Mr. Yi, I just saw that woman was too arrogant and casually retorted. I'm not that kind of woman, Lin Shanshan said shyly. What does that mean? Ye Chen pretended to be silly. Ye Chen couldn't help but laugh as he looked at Lin Shanshan's shy expression. But with that innocent and lovely appearance, she couldn't compare with Lin Shanshan at all. "It's okay, I can teach you in the future," Ye Chen said with a wicked smile. "Humph, who used you to teach?" Lin Shanshan knew she was at a disadvantage and fiercely smashed her small hand at Ye Chen. After getting off the car, Ye Chen smiled and said, "Remember to give me a 5-star rating." Lin Shanshan pouted and said, "The positive reviews are gone, unless you add me on WeChat." Ye Chen nodded and said, "No problem." After adding each other on WeChat, Lin Shanshan gave Jiang Chen a 5-star rating. Ding, congratulations to the host for receiving a 5-star review. Activating the third review star, March 5th, will reward 1 billion renminbi. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Unfinished items, seeking tickets for collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. Unfinished items, seeking tickets for collection. Ye Chen's sports car can only accommodate 2 people, and sometimes it is inconvenient to have multiple passengers, so Ye Chen changed to his old Xiaoli. I have taken on several more orders, and although the customers have all given me 5-star reviews, I have not activated the system's review star. It seems that there is also a certain chance of receiving a positive rating star. I just went out and received another order. The destination of this order is a BMW 4S store. Driving a Xiaoli car to the intersection, a couple got on the car. After getting on the car, the man looked at Ye Chen's profile and suddenly shouted, "Ye Chen." Ye Chen turned his head and was stunned. Coincidentally, the 2 people sitting behind him were actually his old classmates. "Ye Chen, I didn't expect it to really be you," Feng Tao smiled excitedly. The girl next to Feng Tao asked incredulously, "Ye Chen, why are you running away?" Ye Chen smiled and said, "Running Didi is quite good, and I earn a lot of free time." Feng Tao nodded and said, "Yes, with the current economic downturn, it's not easy to find jobs. Look at me, it took me so many years to become a department manager for a listed company. It's really difficult." Ye Chen listened to Feng Tao's sighs and felt somewhat speechless. Is Feng Tao lamenting the difficulty of life? It's just pretending to be good or not? After sighing, Feng Tao continued, "I've been working hard in the Magic City for several years, only to buy a 110 square meter house in the city center and repay a lot of the loan. Today, let Lily and I go buy a BMW together. There's no way, I can't afford a 7 Series, so I'll just buy a 5 Series. Poor." Ye Chen drove the car, listening to Feng Tao crying and pretending to be forced. The corners of his mouth were raised, but he didn't speak. On the side, Tian Lily said, "Feng Tao, you really have the ability. No one expected that the academic bully in the past would make a fuss, and you scumbag would become a manager." After speaking, Tian Lily deliberately smiled awkwardly and said, "Ye Chen, look at my stinky mouth. Don't mind, I have no other intention." Ye Chen smiled and said, "It's okay." The car quickly arrived at its destination. Feng Tao smiled and said, "Ye Chen, would you like to help me choose a car and also experience the charm of BMW?" Ye Chen smiled and said, "No need, I want to run more orders. By the way, remember to give me a good review." Feng Tao nodded and said, "A good review is necessary. By the way, I almost forgot one thing. The day after tomorrow is our classmates' gathering, and it's my treat. You must attend the Universal Hotel." "Okay, I'll definitely go when I have time." Ye Chen saw that Feng Tao had been pretending to be forced with him, but in Ye Chen's eyes, Feng Tao's pretending to be forced was no different from being foolish. "Playing pretend with me, you don't even deserve to lift your shoes." As Ye Chen drove away, Tian Lily sighed and said, "Hey, I didn't expect my male god to be so miserable now." Feng Tao sneered and said, "Yes, I don't know how our female classmates feel when they know that Ye Chen is making beeps." Tian Lily held Feng Tao's arm and said, "It's still our Taoga who has the ability. Ye Chen is handsome and good at studying, so what? Why don't you just drive a BMW? Feng Tao smiled shyly and said, I'm actually doing an average job. Looking at the time, it was already past 6 o'clock when Ye Chen's phone rang. The call was from his mother. Ye Chen, our relatives are gathering today at Pingxian Pavilion 808. Come over now. Okay, Ye Chen hung up the phone and frowned. Ye Chen is very resistant to such family gatherings. At every gathering, the uncle would try his best to praise his son who became the manager, and then the elders around the table would criticize Ye Chen like they were holding a criticism meeting. What's so unproductive, lacking ambition, useless? If it weren't for not wanting to make things difficult for his parents, he would be too lazy to go. After Ye Chen returned home, he drove the Pagani function straight to the hotel. Because there is a traffic jam on the way during rush hour. Ye Chen frowned, it seemed like he was going to be criticized by those relatives again. Returning to the villa in the middle of the lake, changing into clothes and driving a Pagani, Ye Chen arrived at the Pingxian Pavilion Hotel. Seeing Ye Chen's luxury car, the security guard quickly welcomed him over. Sir, please park your car between these 2 parking spaces. Ye Chen was taken aback for a moment and said, I can occupy 1 parking space. Although driving a luxury car, Ye Chen does not want to occupy public resources. No, sir. Your car is so expensive, it still takes up 2 parking spaces. If it's scratched by another car, we can't afford it. Ye Chen also knew the difficulties of the security guard and nodded with a smile. Under the command of the security guard, he drove the car into the parking space. Thank you. It should be. Ye Chen walked into the restaurant and the security captain said to the security guard, you guys keep an eye on this car. If a car worth over 30 million yuan gets scratched, we won't be able to afford the money we earn in our lifetime. Ye Chen walked into the restaurant, and all the relatives had already arrived. Sorry, I'm late. Humph, why don't you say something? No, it's not proper to have a group of elders wait for you even after a meal, said the uncle coldly. Big brother, you also need to understand Chen. He earns less money by making jokes, and he still has to marry a wife. Of course, he has to run 2 more business deals against time, said the second aunt on the side with a strange tone. Kai Didi, our Yi family's face has been ruined by him. Uncle snorted coldly, looking down on Ye Chen's expression. If it had been before, Ye Chen would have been angry, but this time, not only did he not get angry, but he sat in the empty seat with a smile on his face. Father Ye Zheng is a relatively honest person. When he heard his elder brother scolding his son, he was somewhat dissatisfied but didn't say anything. Xiao Chen must be stuck in traffic on the road, and isn't Xiao Tao also absent, said Li Xiuying, her mother, with a simple and honest voice. Uncle snorted coldly, can your Ye Chen compare with Xiao Tao? Xiao Tao is a department manager of a listed group with a monthly salary of 20,000. It's understandable that he's busy with work and late. Sorry, I'm late. At this moment, another young man walked in with a beautiful woman with an 80-point appearance. Seeing the newcomer, the relatives looked at each other differently. Even everyone stood up. Xiao Tao is here. Oh, this is your girlfriend, isn't she? She's so beautiful. It's really rare for Xiao Tao, as a manager, to come to a family gathering despite being so busy with work. Seeing his relatives licking their dogs, Ye Chen sneered in his heart. If he had been a bit unhappy before, but now, with a monthly salary of 20,000, what's the difference between him and a beggar? Ye Tao and his girlfriend sat down, everyone arrived, and the banquet began. During the banquet, relatives were all toasting Ye Tao, and a group of people were about to turn him into a flower. Mother Li Xiuying pushed Ye Chen and whispered, Xiao Chen, give Xiao Tao a toast. Now that he is a department manager, let's see if we can transfer you to their company. Mom, I don't need it. It's good to beep. Ye Chen didn't deliberately lower his voice, and everyone at the table heard it. Pop. Uncle slammed the table in anger when he heard it. Ye Chen, look at Xiao Tao, and then look at you. They all came out of college, why is there such a big difference? Run Didi. What can Run Didi do to make a difference? That's right, Xiao Chen. If you find a decent job, everyone will feel embarrassed. You say you're making a fuss, and let your friends see how shameless we are, scolded Uncle Air. There's nothing shameless about it. I earn money through my own labor and don't steal or rob, Ye Chen retorted. You've learned to talk back, Uncle trembled with anger. Third, why did you raise such an immature son? Uncle looked resentful as if he couldn't turn iron into steel. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Ye Chen's face, seeking tickets for collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Ye Chen's face, seeking tickets for collection. Ye Tao said on the side, Dad, don't be angry. Our company has very high requirements, and at least we have a graduate degree. Xiao Chen's education is stuck, and he doesn't have the qualifications to come to our company. Yeah, there are a few people like Xiao Tao who are so capable. 20,000 yuan a month, over 200,000 yuan a year. Antair licked the dog on the side. Xiao Tao, we just bought an 80 square meter 2-bedroom living room in the city for over 3 million yuan. We just bought a Toyota car, the lady boasted. Uncle Air looked envious and said, look at Xiao Tao. He has a car and a house, and his girlfriend is so beautiful. He looks like a white-collar worker in the company. Xiao Chen, you need to learn more from Xiao Tao. The uncle pointed at Ye Chen and said, Ye Chen, look, we are all peers. Why do you think there is such a big gap between you two? At this moment, the sound of knocking on the door came again from the doorway. A beautiful woman in a black suit walked in. As soon as the beautiful woman in a suit entered, all the relatives of the Yi family were impressed. This beautiful woman is really beautiful. With a tall and delicate figure, Ye Tao's girlfriend, who had just looked proud, felt ashamed and indecisive. Seeing Su Wani, Ye Tao stood up excitedly and said, Mr. Su. Why did you come? Su Wani glanced at Ye Tao for a moment and said, Are you? I am Ye Tao from the marketing department of the branch company. I met you during the meeting. Oh. Su Wani nodded lightly, and then the relatives of the Yi family saw the beautiful woman in a suit walking towards Ye Chen. Mr. Yi, have we met again? Mr. Yi. The Yi family were all stunned. Isn't Ye Chen making beeps? How is Mr. Yi? He was also very surprised. Unexpectedly, he met Su Wani here. Seeing Su Wani and Ye Chen so close, uncle and sister-in-law felt uncomfortable all over. Regardless of Su Wani's appearance or physique, she overwhelms their daughter-in-law. Compared to Su Wani, Ye Tao's girlfriend is simply the difference between a wild chicken and a phoenix. Su Wani pursed her lips and said, Today, thanks to you, we were able to sign this big order. Our company is celebrating here and happened to meet you. By the way, are all the CEOs of our company coming over to offer you a toast? Don't be so polite. At this moment, a few more people came in from outside. Ye Tao was almost stunned, and the people who came in were all senior executives of the company. He never dreamed that his cousin was so awesome that even the top executives of the company came to toast him. Ye Tao stood on the side, looking nervous and embarrassed. Ye Chen sat very steadily and naturally accepted the toasts from several big shots. Mr. Yi, please take good care of me in the future. Mr. Yi, thank you very much this time. Mr. Yi, I'll do whatever you want. Several high-level officials respectfully drank before leaving. Uncle was stunned. Uncle Air looked foolish. All the relatives of the Yi family were confused. Mr. Yi. Isn't Ye Chen just a driver driving beeps? The private door has been opened again. The general manager of Marriott Hotel personally walked in with 3 beautiful waiters wearing kipeos. Mr. Yi, we just learned that you are dining at our hotel, and we have specially added a few more dishes for you. When the waiter placed the dishes on the table, the Ye family was stunned. Shark's fin, abalone, emperor crab, everything is valuable. Not only that, the waiter also personally delivered a bottle of red wine. Seeing that bottle of red wine, Ye Tao was instantly stunned. My grass, this is 82-year-old Lafite. A bottle of 100,000 yuan, right? Ye Tao couldn't help but burst out. Ye Tao used to have dinner with the CEO and heard from him that a bottle of 82-year-old Lafite is worth 100,000 yuan. Uncle was also stunned when he saw a table of wine and food. Waiter, didn't we order these? Just kidding, this table of dishes and this bottle of wine cost hundreds of thousands, they can't afford it. Sir, please rest assured that our Marriott Group belongs to the industry of Ye Group, as Ye is always the CEO of the group. Today's banquet is free of charge. Free of charge. Uncle, sister.in.law, and second uncle and sister.in.law, all the relatives of the Ye family are foolish. Is Ye Chen the president of Ye Group? How could this be possible? The Ye family was completely bewildered. Ye Group was a large enterprise in the past life of Huagua, with nearly 100 shopping malls, hotels, and real estate nationwide, with a market value of billions. Is Ye Chen the president of Ye? Ye Chen was not surprised by these, but rather remained calm. Thank you very much. The manager bowed slightly and said, Mr. Ye, do you have any further instructions? No more. Okay, everyone, please take your time. Mr. Ye, feel free to call me if you have any questions. The manager left. The private room was completely silent. The relatives of the Ye family were closely watching Ye Chen. Oh my goodness. Ye Chen is actually the president of Ye Group. Isn't that worth billions? Even Ye Tao's girlfriend looked at Ye Chen with fiery eyes. Is this the legendary wealthy second generation? Ye Tao and Ye Chen can't compare at all. If they can take the opportunity to make friends with Ye Chen, then she will become a wealthy lady in the future. Thinking of this, Ye Tao's girlfriend's eyes became fiery. Uncle, sister.in.law, second uncle, second sister.in.law, and Ye Tao were completely stunned. Just now they were showing off Ye Tao's excellence and prowess, no wonder Ye Chen smiled silently. Ye Tao's achievements are not worth mentioning in front of Ye Chen. Chen, I didn't expect you to be so successful. Third, you really have a good son. Tao, haven't you toasted your cousin yet? Yeah, look at Chen, he's already the CEO of the company at such a young age. You need to learn more from him. Ye Chen's parents are still in a confused state at this moment. Why did their son suddenly become the CEO? This is too sudden. The uncle's family and Ye Tao's face were very ugly. Previously, they all stepped on Ye Chen, but now they can only laugh and raise their glasses with everyone. Especially those relatives who just mocked Ye Chen, their faces were extremely embarrassed. For this meal, relatives kept toasting Ye Chen, but Ye Chen only drank some juice under the pretext of running away. The relatives looked at each other in confusion. You are all the CEO of Ye and still making a fuss. If these relatives had criticized Ye Chen for being unruly before, but today they are all respectful. After finishing the meal, everyone respectfully accompanied Ye Chen out of the hotel. Ye Chen's parents used to have relatives who were not willing to pay attention, but today they have become extremely enthusiastic. The manager of Marriott Hotel personally stood at the door and said, Mr. Ye, the car is ready for you. A Bentley sedan was already waiting at the hotel entrance. Ye Chen nodded and said, I'm driving here. Let my parents take the car back. Ye Chen decided to let his parents live in the Huxin villa. After all, the old couple should enjoy their happiness even after working hard for a lifetime. Ye Chen opened the car door of Pagani and sat in the driver's cab. Ye Tao was so shocked that his eyes were about to come out. When did Ye Chen become so wealthy with a Pagani worth over 30 million yuan? Watching Ye Chen drive away, uncle sighed. Xiao Tao, come back and buy some gifts. If you have nothing to do, visit your third uncle's house more often and let Xiao Chen take care of you in the future. Although I don't want to admit that Ye Tao used to be the face of the Ye family, from today on, Ye Chen is the pride of the Ye family. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Frog Jump, Seeking Tickets for Collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8 Frog Jump, Seeking Tickets for Collection. When Ye Chen returned home and opened WeChat, he saw dozens of messages already left. Yao Lily surprisingly sent him 40 or 50 WeChat messages. Ye Chen glanced at it. Chen, do you remember the first time we met? I fell in love with you the first time I saw you. Chen, do you remember the playground behind our school? Let's hold hands together. Chen, I love you. Could you please give me another chance? Ye Chen just flipped through a few pages and directly put Yao Lily on the blacklist. For this kind of green tea bitch, a gold digger, Ye Chen felt only disgust in his heart. Lin Shan WeChat. Little brother, thank you so much today. I'll treat you to dinner later. Ye Chen replied, okay, give me a call when you have time. Su Wani's WeChat is simple. The contract has been signed, thank you. Ye Chen replied, thank you so much. Su Wani just came out of the bathroom and saw Ye Chen's reply, but a faint smile appeared on her face. There are many successful men around her, but Ye Chen gives her a different feeling. After a moment of contemplation, Su Wani replied, you say. Let's make a promise with our bodies, Ye Chen joked with a smile. All right. Ye Chen was stunned when he saw the other party's reply. But soon another message came. When you become the richest man in China. Ye Chen smiled at the message and replied, okay. If previously, Ye Chen dared not even think about it, but now that Ye Chen has a system, it is not very difficult for him to become the richest man. The next day, Ye Chen continued to use Didi to attract customers. I even managed to attract a few customers without receiving a positive rating from the system. Another passenger boarded Ye Chen's car. Miss, welcome aboard Didi. Ye Chen. Suddenly, a familiar voice came from behind. Ye Chen turned around and was also stunned. He Jia. You're really talking nonsense. I heard Feng Tao say I still don't believe it that day. Ye Chen smiled and said, it seems you're doing well. Me. I started a small company with some performance. Why don't you come to me, Ye Chen? I'll make you a business manager. I believe you'll have no problem. Upon hearing He Jia's words, Ye Chen's heart warmed. Knowing that he was making a fuss, Feng Tao's reaction was to pretend to be forced, while He Jia wanted to help him. Thank you, opening a beep is quite good, free and unconstrained, Ye Chen smiled. When they were in high school, Ye Chen and He Jia were famous golden girls in the school. Every time Ye Chen takes the first exam, He Jia is the second in 1,000 years. He Jia kept trying hard to surpass Ye Chen, but even after graduation, he couldn't do it. It is precisely because she cannot surpass, that she has always remembered this man. Even before graduation, He Jia secretly confessed to Ye Chen. Ye Chen said, if two people can meet in Huaqing, then they will be together. He Jia achieved his wish and was admitted to Huaqing, but Ye Chen didn't know why he failed the exam, only to be admitted to an ordinary university. Later on, the contact between the two became less and less, and it also faded. She was a bit disappointed when she heard that Ye Chen was making a fuss. After all, that man had always been her target. But seeing Ye Chen so carefree, He Jia suddenly felt envious. When do you need my help? Give me a call. By the way, you should come to tomorrow's classmates meeting. I will be hosting at the Universal Hotel. Ye Chen nodded and said, okay, I'll definitely go there when I have time. At this moment, He Jia's phone rang and said, "What, our project has been passed, how could this happen? Is there any room for redemption?" "Okay, I got it." When the phone hung up, Jia's face clearly looked a bit ugly. "What's wrong? You're in trouble. We have been preparing a project for a year, and we were supposed to sign an agreement, but the project manager of the cooperating company was fired, and our project has also been affected, making it impossible to sign the contract," Jia said with a grim expression. "Is the project manager fired?" Ye Chen hesitated for a moment and asked, "Your partner cannot be Ye, right? How do you know?" "We invested a lot of manpower and material resources in the early stage of this project, and I also borrowed a lot of money from the bank. Now suddenly, there is a problem, and more than a year of effort has been in vain. The company is probably going bankrupt." Jia said with a bitter smile. "You can go to Ye company and explain the situation to Mr. Lin." Jia shook his head and said, "Ye Group is one of the top 10 large enterprises in China. How can the general manager of a small company like ours meet me?" Ye Chen thought things too simply. Although her company has a scale of over 30 million, Ye Group is a company with a market value of billions. She doesn't even have the qualification to meet Mr. Lin, the manager of Ye. Ye Chen smiled and said, "How do you know if you don't try? This is not your style. The Jia in my memory is a fearless little hedgehog." Jia paused for a moment and looked at Ye Chen, taking a deep breath. "Okay, then I'll go to Ye Group. But if we can't negotiate, as compensation, you can give me a free bill. What if we talk about it?" Ye Chen smiled. "If we can talk about it, I'll treat you to a big meal." "No, eating a big meal is too boring. So what do you want?" Jia realized that his mood had just been filled with gloom, and after chatting with Ye Chen for a few days, it turned out to be much better. "If we talk about it, as usual, 10 frog jumps." Frog jumping. Jia and Ye Chen always bet on who lost 10 frog jumps in every exam. As a result, Jia always loses and has to go to the back playground to perform frog jumps for Ye Chen in every exam. But at that time, it was a girl, and now Jia has become a beautiful CEO. Frog jumping is a bit too. If you don't jump, there won't be a miracle." Ye Chen couldn't help but laugh. Jia gritted his teeth, "Isn't squatting popular among anchors now? What is frog jumping for me?" In fact, Jia has no confidence in Ye Chen's suggestion at all. General Manager Ye, how could it be something she wants to see? If it weren't for Ye Chen's words to provoke her, she wouldn't have touched the wall. As for frog jumping, she definitely won't lose, so there's nothing to be afraid of. Soon, Ye Chen's car stopped at the entrance of the Ye building. Looking at the luxurious skyscraper, Ye Chen couldn't help but feel embarrassed. As the CEO of the company, he never came to his own company. Park the car and the two of them walk into Ye Group. Upon arriving at the front desk, Jia said to the receptionist, "Hello, I am Jia, the president of Juhe Group. I would like to meet Mr. Lin." The receptionist quickly said, "Hello Mr. He, come with me to the guest room. I will inform Mr. Lin that she will come over soon." Jia is a bit foolish. Is it so easy to meet the general manager of Ye Group? She used to make appointments with Lin Li 3 days in advance. Upon arriving at the reception room, two people had just sat on the sofa when someone quickly brought coffee. With such enthusiastic service, Jia felt a bit uncomfortable. She has never received such treatment after coming to Ye Group so many times. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Miracles, Seeking Tickets for Collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9 Miracles, Seeking Tickets for Collection. Jia looked puzzled. She felt that the attitude of the other party who came this time was completely different. While Jia was in a daze. At this moment, Lin Li walked in. "Hello Mr. He," Lin Li politely shook hands with Jia. Jia smiled and said, "Hello Mr. Lin, I'm here for the previous contract. Oh, I just looked at our company's information and it was indeed a mistake in our previous work. Our company's various capabilities are in line with this project, so we can sign the contract immediately. Ah! He Jia was completely stunned. She never dreamed that the miracle mentioned by Ye Chen would actually happen. Moreover, the other party did not propose any conditions. Lin Li took the contract and smiled, "Mr. He, please take a look. If there are no issues, we can sign the contract directly." He Jia was almost foolish. Okay. Glancing at the contract, He Jia became even more confused when he saw the content. The content of the contract is more favorable than before. Previously, the sharing ratio between the two parties was to extract 40% of the profits. Now, Yida directly extracts 30% of the profits, which is 10% less. This contract is unimaginable for their company. Her gaze turned to Ye Chen. Is he really my lucky star, and I have really had a good fortune? Thank you, Mr. Lin. This agreement really takes care of us. He Jia couldn't help but sigh. Lin Li smiled faintly and said, "It's nothing. I hope we can cooperate more in the future." While speaking, Lin Li also glanced at Ye Chen. Now Ye Chen is their boss, and being able to satisfy him is the most important thing. Ye Chen wore a smile on his face, clearly very satisfied with Lin Li's performance. Just before Ye Chen arrived, he secretly sent a text message to Lin Li asking her to cooperate. Lin Lido was clever and immediately understood Ye Chen's intention. After signing the contract, Lin Li kept sending Ye Chen and He Jia out of the company. Seeing two people getting into the car, Lin Li finally breathed a sigh of relief. The secretary next to him, Xiao Su, said in confusion, "Mr. Lin, we don't have any money to make from this agreement." Lin Li Bai glanced at the little secretary and said, "Even if the woman brought by Mr. Yi doesn't make any money, she still needs to sign. If Mr. Yi is not happy, you and I will have to pack up and leave, okay?" Coming out of Yida Group, He Jia still feels a bit unbelievable. Ye Chen smiled faintly and said, "What's going on? I said there might be a miracle." Hush. He Jia even pinched himself, feeling the pain on his body before realizing that he was not dreaming. "Ye Chen, what's going on? Why did Yida Group give us such a big profit?" "I didn't know, maybe because you brought me along, they saw me as too handsome, so they modified the contract." He Jia glanced at Ye Chen and said, "You're too narcissistic. I heard they changed their CEO, is it because of their new CEO?" Ye Chen quickly changed the topic and said, "By the way, it seems like you lost the bet we made. Are you going to jump frog jumps?" He Jia's face turned red as she remembered her previous teasing. The reason why she agreed to jump the frog with Ye Chen was because she believed that signing a contract was simply impossible. After all, how could there suddenly be a turning point when Yida Group just informed them that the signing of the agreement had been cancelled? But she never dreamed that the other party would actually sign a contract and even sign such a discounted order. "Ye Chen, can we change the punishment method?" He Jia said shyly. "No way. Why are you trying to cheat?" He Jia glared at Ye Chen and said, Just jump, but you can't be here. Come to my house. Your family." Ye Chen was stunned for a moment. "Yeah, you can't let me frog jump on the main road, I'll lose my life," He Jia said with a red face. "Okay, then reluctantly go to your house." "Reluctantly? I've never let the boy go to my house yet, okay? Are you still at a disadvantage?" "Forget it, I'll just stop dancing," He Jia said angrily. I'm honored to be the first boy to come to your house, right?" Ye Chen smiled. "Old classmate, you just signed the order. Would you like to place an order first?" Ye Chen smiled. "Place an order?" He Jia hesitated for a moment. "Hey, these are all big orders worth tens of millions, and I have to rely on Didi to make a living for my family. Ye Chen said. He Jie glanced at Ye Chen and said, okay, then you have to serve me well. Ye Chen looked at He Jie's list and was immediately stunned. It turns out that He Jie's home is also in the villa area in the middle of the lake. Ye Chen is age 18 and he is age 16, but he is still a neighbor. It's really fate. Ye Chen quickly received He Jie's order, then stepped on the gas pedal and roared towards the villa in the middle of the lake. Ye Chen, you really don't consider coming to my company. With your abilities, it's really a waste of talent to open a Didi. No need, I like freedom, Ye Chen smiled. You have a stubborn personality, He Jie sighed. In He Jie's opinion, if Ye Chen refuses to go to his own company, he may still not be able to save face. However, He Jie also really likes the feeling with Ye Chen. After all, if one day Ye Chen enters the company, the two of them will have a hierarchical relationship. I'm afraid even with a change in status, we can't chat as easily as we do now. Ye Chen drove his car, familiar with the road, and arrived at the entrance of the community. He Jie was worried that Ye Chen's car was too damaged and just wanted to say hello to his older brother. But the barrier has already been lifted. What surprised He Jie even more was that the security guard stood up straight and watched as Pagani entered the community. When did the security guard become so lax that they allowed unfamiliar cars directly into the community? In fact, the security guard has long known Ye Chen's Pagani. Nowadays, the wealthy second generation really knows how to play. Even though there are tens of millions of sports cars that they don't drive, they have to drive through the Xiaoli. However, Xiaoli is a broken Xiaoli, but the beauty inside is still above 95 points. The security guard shook his head and sighed. Suddenly, what did the security guard think of? It seems that beautiful women are also residents of the community. I understand. The second generation of wealthy people must have bought the villa next door to pursue beautiful women. I bought a villa worth billions just to chase after women. The world of wealthy people is really crazy. Ye Chen parked his car next to Pagani and smiled, remember to give me a 5-star review, old classmate. He Jie nodded, made the payment directly, and received a 5-star review. Ding, congratulations to the host for receiving a 5-star review. Activate the 4th review star, 4/5, to reward beginner medical skills, with a 20% stake in the Universal Hotel. In an instant, a wave of information flooded into Ye Chen's mind. Basic medical skills, can treat external injuries such as falls and injuries by massaging acupoints. The Universal Hotel has nearly 100 branches in first-tier cities across the country, with a market value of billions. 20% of the shares, with an annual dividend of over 2 billion yuan. This reward is too valuable. Upon arriving at He Jie's house, Ye Chen sat on the sofa, crossing his legs and jokingly saying, "Come on, you can't miss one of the 10 frog jumps." End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Dogs are much happier than you, seeking collections and tickets. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Dogs are much happier than you, seeking collections and tickets. He Jie's pretty face turned red and glared at Ye Chen. Jumping is nothing special. Speaking, He Jie crouched down and put his hands behind his back. Ye Chen sat on the sofa teasingly watching He Jie, with a playful expression on his face. He Jie's appearance is already above 95 points, and her figure is even slimmer. Although lacking a hint of youthful innocence from student days, it carries a ladylike flavor. I used to watch anchors squat, and beautiful women's frog jumps were even more explosive than squats. He Jie jumped up and jumped out about half a meter. Ye Chen smiled and counted. 1, 2, 3. He Jie often sits in the office and doesn't exercise regularly. So after jumping 5 times, I already felt a slight tingling in both legs. When jumping to the 6th position, the supporting leg did not stand firmly. Hey! With a slip, He Jie fell to the ground in pain. Ye Chen also panicked when he saw this scene. I was just trying to make a joke, but unexpectedly something unexpected happened. He hurried over and said, "Are you okay?" Jia covered his ankle and said, "My foot seems to be twisted." Ye Chen carefully picked up Jia and said, "Go to the bedroom, I'll help you take a look." "Well, okay." Ye Chen carried Jia to the bedroom and placed her on the bed, carefully examining her. Seeing that Jia's ankle was swollen, Ye Chen said, "Let me give you a massage." Ye Chen has just acquired basic medical skills and already has a treatment plan in his mind. Do you still know how to massage? If not, go to the hospital. Jia is obviously not very confident. Don't worry, my massage skills are very good. Ye Chen gently pressed his hand on Jia's ankle. Hiss. Jia let out a painful moan. At first, it hurt a bit, please hold on a bit. At this moment, Jia's door was opened and a woman walked in with a young man. Xiao Song, please come in quickly. Thank you for driving me back and having a cup of tea inside. Aunt Li, it's okay. Jia and I are friends, and this little busyness is nothing, a handsome young man smiled. Oh my. How sensible. If we could marry you, how fortunate we would be. Seeing the shoes at the door, Li Qing smiled and said, Xiaojia should be at home. Auntie will make some delicious food for you. You must eat it at home. When Li Qing released her shoes, she was momentarily stunned. There was actually a pair of men's shoes at the door, and she took a look and said to Song Ming, Xiao Ming, you can sit in the living room and rest for a while. That girl may be in the bedroom. I'll go call her. Li Qing walked up the second floor as she was about to knock on the door when she suddenly heard her daughter's voice coming from inside. Be gentle. It hurts me. In the room, Ye Chen is massaging Jia's foot injury. At first, there was indeed some pain, but what shocked Jia was that the pain gradually eased and even gave him a comfortable feeling. How are you? You feel comfortable now, right? Well, Ye Chen, you're so amazing. At first, it did hurt a lot, but now not only is it no longer painful, but it's also very comfortable. At the door, Li Qing's face turned pale with iron. Jia has always been very conservative and obedient. She never dreamed that her daughter would do such a thing. The most important thing is that there is still a future son-in-law sitting in the living room. Li Qing coughed and knocked on the door, Xiaojia, are you inside? It's broken, my mom's back. Jia's face changed slightly. Ye Chen said speechlessly, what are you afraid of? We haven't done anything wrong. Jia quickly got up and tried to walk down the ground. Although it hurts a bit, I feel like I can at least walk. Mom, wait a moment. Jia arrived at the door and opened it. Seeing a man in her daughter's room, Li Qing's face completely collapsed. Who is he? Jia quickly explained, Mom, this is my friend, Wei. Li Qing glared at Jia and said, alright, there's no need to explain. Xiao Song is here. What is Song Ming doing here? Jia's eyes were filled with displeasure. How dare you say that a girl should take a boy to the bedroom? What kind of behavior is that? I'm not a child, and we haven't done anything. I haven't done it yet, I heard it all. The mother and daughter whispered and insisted. Ye Chen quickly explained on the side, Auntie, Jia's foot is injured. I will help him treat his foot injury. Li Qing breathed a sigh of relief after hearing Ye Chen's explanation. She originally thought that her daughter had already Li Qing, Ye Chen, and Jia arrived at the living room. Seeing Jia, Song Ming quickly stood up. But seeing Ye Chen beside Jia, his face also sank slightly. However, seeing Ye Chen's work clothes, his alert expression eased a lot. Xiaojia, there are friends around, Song Ming smiled. Li Qing quickly explained, our Xiaojia's foot was injured, and Xiaoqing's friend brought her back. Song Ming quickly walked up to He Jia with a concerned expression on his face. Xiaojia, you injured your foot. Why don't you call me? I'll take you to the hospital. He Jiabai glanced at Song Ming and said, why should I call you? Are we familiar? My feet are fine now, so there's no need to go to the hospital. Song Ming's face was a bit ugly when he was scolded by He Jia, but he still forced a smile. Xiaojia, they care about you, how could you talk to them like that? Li Qing hurriedly said on the side. Song Ming smiled and said, Auntie is nothing. He looked at Ye Chen and said, thank you for bringing He Jia back. My name is Song Ming, the general manager of the Universal Hotel. If you need any help, feel free to contact me. Ye Chen nodded and said, my name is Ye Chen, I'm running away. Running away. Oh, that's great. Song Ming's face showed a teasing smile. Li Qing heard that Ye Chen was making a sound, and her expression became even more ugly. A manager of a large hotel and a person who keeps running around are not of the same level in Li Qing's mind. Li Qing has made up her mind that if Ye Chen and He Jia really have a relationship, she will also let them separate. Xiao Ming, don't listen to that girl. Why don't you have a cup of tea before leaving? Li Qing said and pulled Song Ming to sit on the sofa. Li Qing went to brew tea, and the atmosphere in the living room was a bit strange. Ye Chen and He Jia sat together, while Song Ming sat opposite them. Running Didi is very tiring, isn't it? Going out early and returning late. Song Ming said without saying anything. It's not hard, it's quite interesting to interact with all kinds of people every day. Yeah, I envy you a lot. Although I can earn a few million a year, I'm too tired. I have hundreds of people in the company to manage every day, and a lot of things to do. I'm as tired as a dog, Song Ming sighed. Song Ming seemed to envy Ye Chen, but every word was pretending to be forced. Ye Chen smiled and said, don't deceive yourself, dogs are much happier than you. Song Ming. Kneeling here to collect, recommend tickets, and if there are any tips, the author bows and thanks. End of this chapter.